My name is Samuel. I'm joined today by my colleague Kristen. We're looking at a frequently asked question for people using our thermospray product. How much thermospray do I need for? And then they kind of say whatever their job is. So it's like, okay, well, how can you calculate this when you're trying to figure out how much you need for your project? That's kind of the goal of this webinar. Okay, so on the agenda, we'll look at who TYTAN is, what is thermospray. We'll look at a case study of when I insulated thermospray with I insulated my shed with thermospray. And we'll look at how you calculate the board feet as well. Okay, so Kristen, could you tell everybody a little bit more about TYTAN and our products?
Sure. So TYTAN is our brand within the Selena group. We are a single source manufacturer of sealants and adhesives. And so here on the left, you can see the various polyurethane foam sealants that we produce: fire block, window and door, more of an all-purpose fill-all. And over to RV and automotive. We also have some very specialty foam adhesives, drywall adhesives, subfloor, Foam Bond 60, which is a 60-second fast curing adhesive. And today we're going to be focusing on the product in the middle, Thermospray, which is a thermal acoustic insulation foam that we have launched in this last year. So traditionally, you see commonly in insulation these traditional two-component foam kits. So there is an A side and a B side to these canisters, and then it'll mix together for application and create a foam that has a chemical reaction to create the foam. So these are commonly used in wall insulation, roofing as sealants, used in manufactured housing and warehouses. And so in these, the common packaging that you'll see is there's a 250 board feet kit and a 650 board feet kit. And so, but both of them look very similar to this picture on the left.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. So basically, we identified some areas where these two-component kits just aren't really serving the full need for the professional insulator. So you can see I calculated kind of a cost per foot over there on the right. So that's kind of what you're paying typically. But there's also kind of some hidden cost areas, as I put it here, but these are just other areas where you're kind of wasting some money that you didn't even realize maybe. So what about small jobs? So if it's like less than 200 board feet, less than 500 board feet, you know, where you're not using that whole kit, you're kind of left with leftover material that might cure. And so if you try to use that kit over multiple jobs or days, the kit or the lines can seize up, and that can cause problems, and now you just have to throw it away. And so that's kind of wasted material, maybe a 100 or 200 feet worth of material still inside the canisters that you're not using. So this kind of gives you an idea of what costs are involved. So we developed this product, Thermospray. Basically, it can repair and or replace the two-component foam systems. Maybe you're having to fix an outlet in a new build, and so you need to just spray insulate a couple of square feet. And so that's what Thermospray is intended for. And it also has sound blocking properties as well. Kristen mentioned the acoustic nature of it. So let's look at a quick case study where you can see how it got applied to my shed. So earlier this year, I insulated my shed with thermospray. And so you can see on the bottom left there, that's my dog, Barry. He joined us in the project and started spraying the foam, and he kind of lost interest at that point. But you can see I'm spraying it here. You can see what one of the walls looked like. But it's perfect for this sort of project, as you'll see. But you can see that's we did all the walls on my shed there. So for this sort of project, let's kind of run through, like, let's say you decided to use any of these three for this project. So you can see the 210 kit, 210 board feet coverage, the 650 kit, or thermospray, which is 21 board feet per can. And so the coverage I needed, it's an 8x12 shed, but it was about 315 board feet of coverage that I needed for my project. And so let's say I use the 210 kit. Well, I'd have to use two of those because you can see it's more than 210. Or the 650 kit, I'd use one and have roughly half left. Or I can use 15 cans of thermospray. And so the cost, just MSRP, you can see here the different costs. And with thermospray, you don't have any leftover material. If you bought like 2 cases of it, each case has 12 in a box. You might have a few cans left over, but they store very well. You could store it for, maybe a year, and so that's a lot more convenient. And you're not worried about the lines seizing up on you. And so if you do that project with thermospray, you compared to the others, you can see you save like 60 or 70% with thermospray, and it's easier to use. And yeah, so that just makes it a lot easier. Just shake the can and apply it. And I was able to do it in about an hour by myself. Okay, so now we're calculating how much thermospray I need. So I've thrown around a couple of terms, board feet. So that's really just a square foot that's 1 inch thick. And so you can see the different bays I'm spraying there in that picture. But basically you calculate the total board feet, divide it by 21, and then that's how many cans you need. So you can see if it was 200 board feet, divide that by 21, that's like 9.5 cans, so roughly 10 cans. Maybe you want to spray it a little thicker and you need more. I sprayed it at about 1.5 inches or 2 inches almost with on my shed. But again, it depends on how thick you want the insulation and what sort of R value you're going for on your project. Okay, well, that's it for this webinar. This is a short one, pretty simple, but just, again, calculating how much thermospray you need. You really just need to figure out how many board feet you need to cover, and then you can divide it by 21. And so I recommend you check our different media channels out. We've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I post a lot of this similar content on there, answering questions, talking about other construction topics as well with insulation. And so as a reminder, Kristen already went over this slide at the beginning, but we are a single source manufacturer of sealants and adhesives. Today we are specifically talking about our thermospray product and how to figure out how many you need for your project. Every project's different. I've seen a lot of people using this for different 2-component repair jobs. Obviously, I used it on my shed. There's a lot of interesting ways people use this product for different insulation projects. But we make other types of polyurethane products as well, including window and door foam, fire block foam, and some foam adhesives. On the right, you can see our gun applicators as well. So thank you for joining the webinar. If you watched the recording, thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can find us on our website as well, titan.com/US. And thank you again for watching and participating, and thank you, Kristen, for joining the webinar as well.
Thank you, Samuel.